So the internet's been saying, obviously we know the UI itself, the RPM changes for sure at 500 miles. We know that. And then they're saying you get like 70 to 100 horsepower. Some people said like 190 horsepower. So this thing's just about at 500 miles finally. We got it with 3. And we're going to run it, do the standard right before it changes, run it on the dyno till it hits 500, and then fire off another run. It better have more power. So either way, we're gonna give you guys apples to apples comparison. Now that whole horsepower number before really doesn't matter. So this will be our baseline. And then as soon as it hits 500 miles, we'll do another run the exact same way. This is the way we gotta do it. So we had to recalculate parasitic loss because now we put it in all-wheel drive mode versus 2-wheel mode. So you have to send it to the moon and then put it in neutral and let it come all the way down. That's done now. Real pull's next, and then we're 488 right now. That's our check straps. We'll get a run. .427, exactly what we thought would happen. What we really wanted to see was what it would be identical 2-wheel to 2-wheel. Couldn't do that, so now we needed a new baseline with all-wheel. So all-wheel is 427 horsepower at 110 miles an hour, 4th gear pull. Now we're going to do one more just to make sure, and then we're going to let it coast till the 500 mark, which you'll see the RPM gauge change. We'll hit it with that new horsepower. Consistent, 424, 110 miles an hour. We're totally good now. We're gonna go ahead and roll it to the 500 mark, and Mikey's gonna have a nice little cruise. All right, so it just hit 500 miles. It unlocked, just like they said. We're gonna let it cool down, get operating temps back to where it was the first time when it wasn't at 500 miles. Where we get that apples to apples comparison and see if it puts down more power. So you guys guess right now, do you think it's gonna be a different horsepower? Or did Chevy just give us some UI? I don't know, but we'll find out in a second. Moment of truth. Ooh! So, there you have it. You got 449 horsepower. So it gained 250 RPM, it gained 20 horsepower, and that's pretty good. I mean, every single intake, every single exhaust system, if you get 20 horsepower, you're stoked. So, Chevy, all you gotta do, take that new C8 Corvette, run it up to 500 miles, you get an extra 20 horsepower. Let's graph the two real quick. And go here, we'll graph it by engine speed. We'll go ahead and graph it by the next one, and you can see them together. You have uncorrected, let's go uncorrected horsepower 446 versus the 423. Uncorrected torque was 381 versus 361. So it's a real 20 horsepower. There it is. You do get more power. It's all because of that RPM though. That extra 250 RPM equals 20 horsepower. Amazing.